Microsoft has always set a high bar for the Forza Horizon series. After all, if you're going to slap one of the most recognizable names in racing games onto another product, it ought to be good. And it has been. Since its debut in 2012, Playground Games has pushed out a new entry in the series every other year, and they've been great games for the most part. The last game marked a new high for player customization and probably offered the best open world of the first 3 games. With Forza Horizon 4, not much has changed in terms of how the game looks or plays, or in the content that it offers to players. The big changes are in its new English locale, new weather mechanics, and the living world that Playground Games is trying to create here. There's really not one specific through line in terms of story in Forza Horizon 4. You are once again an up-and-coming driver looking to make their name on the Horizon circuit, and you'll be treated to a lengthy prologue that introduces you to the many different aspects of the game and how to navigate the world during the different seasons as they change. After which, you'll be thrust into the shared world experience. And this is really the meat of Forza Horizon 4, with Microsoft hoping that players get invested in their character, car collection, and the wealth of customization options and different racing activities in the game. The structure of this game really is a sign of the times. In the vein of games as a service, Forza Horizon 4 is looking to be something that keeps players coming back for more, with live events, timed challenges, changing seasons, and a ton of different progression and collection aspects to really dig into. It's unequivocally the biggest and most ambitious game in the series when it comes to content. It also adds a bunch of customization that may or may not be welcomed by the community. As games like this almost absolutely have to have these days, there are some cosmetic options for your character, which is an actual avatar this time around. This customization will start at the character creation screen, something new for the series, and it will continue to follow you throughout the game with new clothing options and accessories constantly being thrown at you in terms of rewards. That said, there's nothing quite as unfulfilling as getting a wheel spin reward that is a cosmetic item that you know you won't use. It all comes alongside the standard customization that we're accustomed to in Forza games like tuning and a robust libraries editor, but the new stuff isn't going to be for everyone. Thankfully, it is a relatively small part of the game, even if it is completely unavoidable. The basic structure of Forza Horizon 4 will be recognizable by fans of the previous games. There's a massive open world map to explore, and that's built around a central Horizon Festival hub. The map itself is littered with different races and activities. In Horizon, racing isn't relegated to the streets. There are off-road tracks for dirt racing, road races, cross-country races, drag races, and street races to tackle. Or you can just head off to explore the open world however you see fit. But in each of these different disciplines, there's a unique progression system. Race and do well in any of these different races, and you'll level up this discipline to earn different rewards. These range from customization options like quick chat phrases to things like wheel spins, which give you a shot at winning cars, clothes, or cash. The races are more than enough when it comes to content, but there's a ton of other stuff to do here as well, with open world destinations to uncover like speed traps, drift challenges, stunt areas, and hidden barns. Again, it's very familiar territory for Horizon. What attempts to tie it all together are a number of different story sequences in the game, which has you tackling a multi-chapter series of events in different scenarios. The opening story sequence, for example, puts you in the shoes of a movie stunt driver to handle unique cars and complete objectives for a director. Later, others open like a drift club, which has you tackling different drifting objectives. Or there's one later down the line where you start a rental car business, and the task at hand is to simply set top speed challenges with some of the rarest cars in the game. All in all, these story sequences feel a bit undercooked. There feels like there was a real chance to make these something special, but with 10 chapters in each story, things do start to get repetitive. It also wouldn't be a Horizon game if this one didn't offer the trademark showcase events. You'll once again be treated to some of the coolest races in the game once you've progressed far enough. You'll be racing against things like hovercrafts, jets, dirt bikes, and a locomotive. There's even a Halo showcase, which has you racing a Warthog with Covenant Banshees zooming around the course. These have always been some of the more unique events in these games, but they've rarely offered much challenge, so much as they do offer eye candy or wow factor. Horizon 4 is much less static than previous games in the series though. The new seasons mechanic is one of the most highly touted features of the new game. Snow will fall in winter, leaves will turn brown in the fall, spring will bring about rainstorms, and summer will be bright and vibrant. Each season there will be new challenges to complete, which will have you tackling different types of seasonal events. If you enjoy the driving of Forza Horizon, there are a ton of maps that have been created by Playground Games, and each of these races can be raced against a computer in solo mode, with friends in co-op, against rivals, or in PvP. There's also a track creator that's coming down the line, but was not available for this review. There are certainly a ton of ways to play with others. You've got player versus player competitive matches, which you can hop into with anyone in your current game session. You can play unique multiplayer events that offer some variety modes that are much different than your standard races. These modes will carry over from previous games like Infected and Carry the Flag, but they're a nice change of pace from the car collecting grind. Team adventures allow you to quickly jump into online sessions for public or private matches and league competitions. Alongside this, Horizon 4 has a Forzathon Live public event system that will rally players in the open world to perform tasks. Do well and you'll earn Forzathon points that can be used to purchase unique items in the Forzathon shop, which will then rotate on a timer. When you combine the wealth of customization in terms of car tuning and paint job creation, the auction house, and all these different ways to race, there's a ton to do in Forza Horizon 4. And all of these ways to play the game are for nothing if the gameplay isn't rock solid, and Horizon 4 once again lives up to the name with fantastic visuals and all the attention to detail that the mainline Forza series offers. The gameplay does skew towards the arcade side of the racing spectrum, offering players a little more freedom to do things that have no place in reality. In all of these different facets, Forza Horizon 4 is a lot of fun to play, whether on pavement or off-road. It's enjoyable to test out and collect the hundreds of different cars that are available. If you can't find something that's enjoyable to drive, you probably just don't like this type of game. Regardless, all of this content makes for one of the most robust Horizon games to date. That said, there have been a lot of these games already, and Microsoft has been on a relentless pace with the Forza series. While Horizon 4 continues to meet the high bar of expectations, it's hard not to have a little bit of franchise fatigue at this point. The Forza games have always been state of the industry. The problem is the industry hasn't moved that far forward in recent years, leaving these games feeling like marginal upgrades. This is a game that's going to require an incredible time sink, and it's designed to be just that. All of the things listed above funnel into the game's main progression system, which is measured by your garage full of cars, creation, and avatar customization options, as well as badges you'll unlock for completing certain levels. Progression in the game does feel like a bit of a grind at times, with cars being locked behind the in-game currency for the most part. After sinking many hours into the game during this review, the new cars did seem to trickle in at a snail's pace, and the money being earned felt small compared to the exorbitant prices that high-end cars cost. The series has had these progression problems in the last few iterations, and it doesn't feel like it's been solved here. The solution that they do offer is a premium VIP add-on for the game, which offers double credits for races as well as more wheel spins. Playground Games really isn't surprising players anymore. Forza Horizon 4 has the fantastic racing and visual presentation that previous games had. Improvements and features follow a predictable trajectory when it comes to what's been added this year. The new weather mechanics seem to be the biggest difference to point at here, and of course there's a much bigger focus on the shared world experience. For those that are willing to sink many hours into this game and continue to keep coming back on a weekly basis, it's hard not to recommend Forza Horizon 4. Others might simply be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of tasks at hand and options to explore. This is certainly one of the best looking and most robust games in the series, even if Forza fatigue is beginning to set in, with only slight changes to a formula that seems cemented at this point.